because of it. Because I'm traumatized.
Holy shit, guys. Hi again. Second
Hi.
week.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We
Yeah.
survived.
Last week, you guys seemed to love it.
Yeah.
You, yeah. I got a couple of messages being like, yo, you guys did great.
Yes.
Yes.
Which we love.
Which we always love feedback.
Really love. Definitely.
So, yeah, just keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I feel like we should like catch up because honestly, Emma, I've had this fortune this week, but that's because I feel like we've just both been really, really fucking busy.
What I honestly can't believe like it's been over a week since we recorded and nearly a week since we posted. Like I turned 18 a week ago.
Like, yeah.
As of recording this. What?
Because we are recording at a later date, guys. We're recording on Thursday, not Tuesday, because I've been ill the past couple of days.
Yeah.
So
we won't go into that for pain. But I honestly don't even know what's happened in the past 7 days. I could not tell you.
I've slept a lot. I have to
Yeah.
say. Watched a lot of Scooby-Doo.
Nice.
But it's like the good Scooby-Doo. It's the Mystery Incorporated. Like the
Okay.
good Scooby-Doo, not like the shit one we have now.
Like the newer one, yeah.
Yeah, so me and Matthew have been binge watching that. I celebrated my 1 year anniversary with Matthew yesterday.
You did. That is something that happened in the past 7 days.
And we literally did nothing for it. He played in this game and I watched Grey's Anatomy.
I love it. Yeah, I think genuinely the most exciting thing that's happened since we last recorded for me was the fact that I turned 18 and I now have I have 2 bottles of alcohol that I can see currently. I don't have more than that in general.
By the fact you say that, I am 17. I don't turn 18 for another like 5 months or so. And at the moment, I have a crate of Strongbow downstairs. That is mine.
Yep. But I've never really been a drinker.
Oh god, I'm not anymore, I don't think. Literally, like, I had one the other night, I had a headache.
You've got a crate of Strongbow, and that's not the only alcohol you have downstairs.
Oh god, no, but that's the only thing I'll drink. Like, there's Budweiser and Heineken downstairs as well, but I won't drink them. My mum's got vodka and 20 million bottles of Coke.
I really wish I could show you right now, but did I show you the massive tub of Percy Pigs that I got?
Yes, you did. You did show me that. You did.
That I can never open because my hands are too small. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. That's it for the comments. Favorite sweets needs
yeah.
comments.
Yeah, please send favorite sweets.
Like if you go into a shop, it's like your go-to sweet, guys. What is your go-to sweet when you walk into a shop?
Or like so like a sweet or like chocolate or like
what?
If it's chocolate, you've got to be specific. We want specifics.
Yeah, like if I walked into a shop, I'd buy a Lion bar or a Crunchie because I just love Lion bars.
What do I go in and get?
You're going to get caramel nibbles.
Yeah. Or squashies.
I tried to find you them, right? And there was one of the normal ones for your birthday. I was devastated. I just couldn't find them.
Absolutely deviled.
I was devastated.
But yeah.
So yeah.
I genuinely don't think anything else has really happened. There's not really much that can happen at the moment.
Not really. We're kind of not leaving our house.
Yeah. Which is kind of the opposite as to what we're going to talk about this week.
Yeah, that's kind of a very nice segue into our topic for this week.
Yeah.
So me and Emma were chatting, and we have realised we've actually been to lots of places.
Yeah.
Like we have left the country quite a few times. Between the two of us, probably just more Emma left the country quite a lot of times. I've left a few.
Yeah.
We've just been on holiday in the UK quite a bit. And we have some funny stories from that. So that is what we are going to chat about with you guys today. So yeah, on top of your sweet suggestion in the comments, favorite holiday. Just favorite holiday.
100%.
Yeah, favourite holiday.
So,
yeah.
So it's probably best if we do a little round the world trip of where we've been. Do you want to start, or would you like me to start?
I think I should start because it's less. Um,
No need to
so
out me like that.
it's just because my parents work a lot and they can't get time off easily.
Most
So
of these have been with school, not with my family.
I, yeah. Anyway, so for me, I've had. So I'm gonna go in the UK first. So I've had Blackpool with my parents when I was like 12, and then I went to Cornwall and Devon a lot when I was younger with my like parents before they were divorced, and actually after they were divorced as well. Obviously went separately. I went to Haggerston Castle with an old friend of mine, of ours actually. And then that's the only like memorable ones I think of in the UK. And then we jump out of the UK, we go abroad. So I went to Spain in 2016. I tell a lie. Yeah, I did. And then but before that, we went to school. We didn't go to school. We went to France with school.
Well
Um,
done. You did it.
and then we went to Poland with school.
Yeah.
And then I went back to France. I went back to Disney for my 16th birthday. And I went and did Disneyland Paris for my 16th birthday. So honestly, out of like me going on holiday, it's the only things I can really like. So like big ones, watch it. I'm gonna like my fans gonna watch this. Like, Katie, what happens? What happens if we went here and here and here? And I'm like,
I know. I'm literally.
I'm like really
Yeah.
scared.
I can't think. Right. It doesn't really count as a holiday, but it was a school thing we did where we stayed overnight, and I think that would be a fun one to bring in. Do you know what I mean? In year
Uh,
4,
oh my god, Whitby.
Whitby.
That's fun because I was ill the whole time.
Were we in the same room for that? I think we were.
Were you with
Were we?
Chloe?
Yes. 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 So, yeah, I'm gonna try and plow through these as quickly as I can because there are a few. So I'll start in the UK. I don't know exact dates for some of these, but I've been to Wales. I've been to Porthmadog in Wales. I was probably about 7 or 8, but I'm not entirely sure. I did Edinburgh with my grandma and my brother. I've done Devon and Cornwall. I've been to Keswick. I think I've stayed in Keswick a couple of times. I've been to London way too many times for me to even count, most of which with my grandma.
I've never been to London. I'd love to go to London though.
London is a lot. It's fun, but it is a lot. I went to Alnwick when I was really little, so I don't really remember too much of it, but it's quite funny, and there were some fantastic photos to come out of it. And then obviously we did Whitby in year 4. Um, but when we go abroad, I've been to, where did I go first? I went to Florida when I was 5, and then again when I was 10. We did again. I did France, which we did in year 6. Then I did New York for the first time in year 7. I'm trying to go in order here, but it's quite difficult. Then came Malaga with secondary school again in 2017, April 2017. Poland was October 2017.
Went together.
We did go together, yeah. Then we had 2018 was my family trip to Australia, but we did Dubai and Singapore in between home and Australia, and then I did Sydney and Ayers Rock in Australia. I forgot with the trip to New York in year 7, it was skiing, and we went to New Hampshire, so that was the main place where we were. So just to go back to that. After the trip to Australia in 2018, my next one will have been New York again in 2019, July 2019, with my orchestra, where we went to go and play Carnegie Hall, and then Granada, December 2019, with my college. And I think that's everything. That takes a lot of thought trying to do it in order.
It sounds like it. I just gave up. I didn't do mine in order. Actually, I feel like I kind of might have.
I think you managed it.
It's not because Francis at the bottom of my list.
Oh yeah, my list is not in order in front of me, which is why it took me a minute. I was like, right, what? I don't want to miss anything.
But yeah, so obviously, as you can see, Emma's been to a lot more places than I have.
I've done a lot of doubles, that's the thing.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like my family, we go for like day trips places more than anything. So obviously, I
Yeah.
have like two sets of family.
Mhm.
So it's always like, done at one point, my mum wanted to be the first person to take me out of the UK, and oh, look, it was my dad that did it. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we're not counting like day trips because honestly, we'd be here all day.
we would literally we'd have like a 3 hour long podcast of just day trips.
You'd get sick of us very quickly. But yeah,
Quickly.
that's where we've been in a rough timeline of everything.
Oh my god, I forgot one.
Go on.
So I did Blue Dolphin with my granddad, dad, and brother.
Oh yeah.
Maybe like last year, the year before, 2019.
Yeah. Could
Um,
we count Carlton? Because I realised like halfway through my list that we kind of didn't mention Carlton. That was a week. Did you? You
that's
definitely
what
did Carlton. You
yeah,
definitely
I
did
did that.
Carlton because there was a video.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that will be a
Well,
topic we go on to later.
we will get into that.
Hell, let's get into that.
But yeah, I think a big part of especially trips more recently has been the fact that obviously we're friends now and communicating. So I think a lot of that comes into many of our trips apart, of which,
Sure.
yeah, I think I've probably got quite a few fun stories from trips, mainly school ones more than family ones because I can't remember some, but
Honestly, my family's kind of boring. No offense, guys. Um, so I just put this. No, it's my my dad just walks the dog a lot. So see, I have a black lab, same as Emma.
yeah, yeah.
And he's the one that always goes on holiday if I go.
Mhm.
And then my granddad just sits in his chair and sleeps. And then my brother just plays on his Switch.
I
So
mean,
it's just me.
you can't diss the Switch though. The Switch is good.
Who
I
I do
don't
have a
have
funny
one.
story though.
I'm upset about it.
I do have a funny story from one of my own ones, but I feel like we're gonna shoot into your own ones first.
Yeah, I'll take it first because it'll take longer.
Yeah,
Oops.
it'll take a while, and I'll just
Um,
kind of chirp in when I have to begin.
where do I even start with funny stories? I
Oh, by
think
the way,
well,
I'm really sorry if any of you can hear like me like slurping on my drink. Um,
she's got orange juice that she's
I'm
been
trying to
drinking.
I'm trying to like not be ill anymore. I don't know why orange juice just helps me not be ill anymore. I don't have COVID, by the way.
Vitamin C. That's probably why.
Who likes me? Oh, my mum. Dot dot Asda. Dot dot dot. Not right now, mum.
Don't know. Trying to do something. Um, I'll try and go as in order as I can. Most of my stories will come from, if not all, will probably come from abroad because they're just funnier. That I swear I've never been on a fully um functioning. I'm gonna word it like that. Fully functioning trip abroad. Something always goes slightly wrong. So I'll do the ski trip since that comes to mind first.
Mhm.
So back in 2015, it would have been because I would have been 12. Yeah, year seven.
Mhm.
I went. Our school did a ski trip to America, which sounds weird when you first hear it, but basically, the price was the same to go to either America or Europe. So we went to America for giggles, and that trip there, I was the worst. It wasn't the worst. I've definitely had worse trips, but it's up there because we had to do a 5 hour drive down to Heathrow, then a 7 hour flight to Boston, and a 5 hour drive up to where we were staying. And it was
That
grim.
sounds rough.
It
That
was
sounds really
gross.
rough.
Um, the like coach journeys were pretty tame. They were pretty normal. The plane, the plane is where it gets fun. I was sat on the plane I was sat with all of the lads. I didn't choose this. I got plagued with being sat with a vast majority of the boys, which included a year seven, no, a year 11, sorry, because I was year seven. He was year 10 or year 11, I think, at this point. Who Katie will know exactly who I mean if I refer to him as the hey babe guy.
Oh my god, yes.
Who why he got that name, I'll come on to, but I was sat next to him, who were year 7 me, and on the other side of me was this poor American woman who just started having a conversation with us and asked me, "Is that your boyfriend?" To which he said yes. I was like, "No, no, 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 I don't know him." And then she started trying to copy my accent, which was quite fun. Because if anyone who's met Americans knows that they can't do British accents unless they're posh, and even then it's sometimes questionable. So trying to do a northern accent was incredible. She also tried Scouse, from what I remember. That was quite funny. She tried to sound like she was from Liverpool. Brilliant. But when we got over there again, we were on it was like a refurbed school bus. So like imagine like a typical American school bus.
But like the yellow ones.
Yeah. But like refurbed. And it had Wi-Fi, so I FaceTimed my family like half of the way from Boston to New Hampshire where we were skiing. Oh my lord. Speaking about American school buses, they're not all they're cut out to be. They are disgusting. They are grim. Fully grim.
Beautiful.
But I think a main story from that is I'm going to substitute a name in here for this poor girl. We've got a bit of a theme with some names we've got going on here, so I'm going to call her Karen. This is not to say that she is.
No, and yes, that does mean to say that she is a Karen. I don't care whatever says. Yes, that means she is a Karen.
Okay, right. Your words. So, Karen was in a group with me when we were skiing, and she fell over. Not Barcelona, but she fell over multiple times and did something to. I don't even know what she ended up doing. I think she like pulled something in her upper leg. So she like I can't remember if she pulled a muscle. She definitely didn't do. Obviously, she didn't do anything to the bone because it's impossible. But I ended up, because she was also getting bullied, I ended up sharing a room with her because I was the only one nice enough to offer to stay in a room with her.
Biggest regret of Emma's life.
It's up there with some of my worst decisions. But yeah, she got injured and had to get carted down the mountain in a body bag, pretty much. Like, it's not like a body bag because obviously like she wasn't dead, but that's basically how they did it. Is like they bundled her up and skied her down the mountain. Incredible. I ended up nearly getting kicked out of the bed multiple times after that because she had her leg propped up, but she'd end up starfishing. And like, I know that queen size beds are massive, but I actually nearly got pushed out of the bed.
Considering my parents have a queen size bed and literally I lay in the middle and them two can both get either side of me. Not that we do that. I sleep in my own bed. Sorry, it's just like we're watching something and we're upstairs.
Yeah.
Like I know that they're like pretty big. So I'm very sorry my watch keeps going off.
It's okay.
My mom keeps texting me.
But yeah, that's one of the major ones from that trip. The other major one is obviously with an ongoing series of events with who we refer to as the Hey Babe guy, who, as I said, is a guy who's about 3 years older than us, who was just creepy, just really creepy. So obviously it started on the plane with this woman asking if he was my boyfriend, which he wasn't. I did not know him. This was the first time I'd ever spoken to him.
Oh, probably met him as well.
Well, we'd done like ski lessons up in Sunderland before that, so like technically not, but properly, yes. But it was just weird. Like, we were sat on the school, but we got like a genuine school bus to and from the slopes, which is how I know that they are grim. And I was sat, and like anyone who's done skiing knows that salopettes are not comfortable. Like, they're just not. So I was like, I would normally take down the straps of my salopettes because it's like, think trousers with like braces on them. It's like that.
Yeah. Pretty
So I'd
much, yeah.
take down the straps of it, and you'd obviously left with the trousers. So I went to take down the strap, and he was just like, "Not in public, babe." And I was like, "You're 3 years older than me. Leave me alone, please." I didn't
I
say
think
that,
the fact
but I was
you
like,
say
"Help."
that, yeah, Matthew is like 2 years older than me, maybe 3, maybe.
Yeah, but the thing is, Katie, right, is that that's a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You
Fair enough.
are 17 and
20 next month.
he's nearly 20, but that's just because your birthday is after his.
Yeah.
It was weird. Um, it was just that was an entire thing. I tend to block out. You are howling at me. Why are you howling at me?
I'm not laughing at you. So laughing at my mom. My mom possesses me, saying, "Asda, I need vodka."
Mood.
It's the message my mom's just sent me.
Oh my god. Anyway, thanks
Yeah,
Donna for
sorry,
that
carry on.
distraction. That was fantastic. Yeah, I tend to push out quite a few memories from that trip because I'm just traumatized by that guy. Honestly, like slight, slight trauma. Um, so the next one's Malaga. Malaga was a time we went to Malaga in Spain, so it's in the south of Spain, and we went during Holy Week. Now, Spain, not Spanish. Spain is a Catholic country, so Holy Week's a big deal, like massive deal. So the crowds
Like
were.
it's like us and Christmas.
Oh no, it's so much worse.
Oh, it's like
It
us and Christmas on steroids.
Yeah,
Not
because
that, not
they
that we're
do
saying use
like
steroids. Not what we're saying.
don't we do not promote drug use.
No.
Um, think like Santa parades,
Mm.
but you can't move through the crowds, and it lasts for like half an hour in one area.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm talking wall to wall crowds. It was insane. Which meant that we got caught in the middle of one on our last night when we were trying to get back to the hotel. We got caught in many, and it took us 2 hours to do what should have been a 1 hour walk back.
Oh.
That was also the first trip where I learned that um, mainland European middle-aged men very creepy and very forward, and you will get catcalled more than you do in the UK in a foreign language. I speak Spanish, so like it was pretty obvious when like they were like saying guapa, which in Spanish just means like gorgeous, grim. And they're also not very subtle when they are checking you out, and that's not even just limited to men. The women aren't either. Can confirm.
Do you know what? Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Like good for them not being subtle. However, it's a bit creepy when they're about 50 and you're 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, not fun.
No.
So that's kind of the major part of that trip.
Mm.
I think the best stories definitely come from for us communicating Australia because I was 8, 9, oh maybe longer actually, 9 or 10 hours ahead because it was our summer. So I think it's about
Yeah.
9 hours. I think they're I think oh they might be long. They might be about 10 hours ahead. I can't remember. I could check, but I can't be bothered. Either way, it meant that it was either I was calling at midnight
Oh,
or
I was calling at midnight.
more often than not me calling at midnight
Yeah.
and them calling
Then,
at a normal time in the day because yeah, it
honestly,
but
I remember, and it was like I was at my dad's for like most
mhm,
of the time you were away.
yeah.
And my friend would be like, "Kate, hero call you." It's like fucking stupid o'clock, and I'm like, "It's Emma, but she's in Australia." It's
I'm
like, well, why is it?
I'm
It's like, well, why is Emma in Australia? It's like because she took a holiday to
for
Australia,
for a
granddad.
giggle. I just randomly travel to no, I don't.
Yeah.
But that trip is also up there with the most complicated travel because obviously you can't just go straight there. So we did Newcastle to Dubai, had a layover in Dubai for 3 hours.
Oh,
That's a
beautiful.
7 hour flight, by the way. Then we had another 7-hour flight to Singapore. And then we stayed there for 3 days, and that was fun. Singapore is genuinely one of the best cities I've been to because it's so safe. Like, you genuinely feel safe. And I would love to go back. And then we did
Singapore.
We can go together. It's fine.
We'll go together.
And then we did Singapore to Sydney. That, oh my life. So obviously Singapore's very hot. Singapore was probably about mid to late 30s, heat wise, and very, very, very humid. It's ridiculously humid. So obviously we spent a lot of time in shorts and t-shirt, various things. This is because I'm weird. The least amount of clothing you could physically have on while still being respectable, because it's that hot. It's sticky heat. Sydney.
Oh, I hate sticky heat.
Oh, sticky heat's the worst. Sydney, however, was in the middle of their winter, so but even then, it's not as cold as it gets over here. It was like 10 degrees, maybe. I didn't think about this when I travelled, and I was in shorts and t-shirt when I arrived in Sydney at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't have a hoodie, so I had to nick my mum's hoodie for a couple of days because I stupidly forgot to pack a hoodie to go on holiday with. Don't do that, kids. Do not do that, right?
I feel like it would be physically impossible for me to not pack a hoodie because I live in hoodies.
If you know you're going to a hot place, please just pack a hoodie.
Yeah, well,
if you're going to a hot place and a cold place, just pack a hoodie.
Even just to a hot place, that might sound really stupid because, like, on a night, I remember I'm gonna really quick the jump to when I went to Spain. When I went to Spain, it got really fucking cold on a night.
Oh, Spain does,
so,
yeah.
like, you ended up like putting a jumper on, and like I think I had trousers on most nights. I went out to went out for food. I had trousers on most nights.
Places like Singapore and Dubai, though, the night it's not much cooler than the day. So Dubai, during the day on the way back, we stayed in Dubai for 10 hours. And during the day, it was 42 degrees while we were there.
Oh my god. We still look like 20.
And at the night, it was 38.
Wow.
It was ouch. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was quite weird going between Sydney and Ayers Rock. So we did Ayers Rock or Uluru. Call it what you want. That big rock that everyone knows in Australia. That one.
I think everyone but me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You'll know it. You'll know it.
Okay.
I'm gonna very quickly. But basically, it was like 20 degrees maybe over there, like in Ayers Rock. And the woman at the desk was wearing a puffer jacket, sat in front of a heater. And we were like sweltering.
Well, it's because they're used to it though, aren't they? Like, they're used to that.
That big rock.
You got a picture taken of that, didn't you?
I do, yeah, because we went to go see the sunset over Ayers Rock. So we stayed there for a day. But yeah, I think communication on that trip, we really thanked the internet for its existence.
We did indeed.
It was a beautiful time. Yeah, I guess. Oh, I saw my cousin out there. That was we did like quite a few cool things when we went to Australia. Like, we climbed Sydney Harbour Bridge, which is, it was windy as hell. Honestly, it was so windy because obviously you're like right on the harbour, and like obviously the river like goes out to sea and whatever, and it was so
forever. It just stops. The river just stops.
It just stops. Yeah, it doesn't exist. But like, because you're right, Sydney's like on the coast, kind of like when you get to the boundary of Sydney, it's like to the coast.
Yeah.
And so we were on a bridge, like, is it the Tyne Bridge? Yes, I believe it is.
The blue one.
Yeah, like
which bridge you on about?
In Newcastle, the one next to the Sage. I think it's the Tyne Bridge. I'm pretty sure it's the Tyne Bridge. Yeah, that one. That bridge and Sydney Harbour Bridge are identical. Completely. So imagine that. Imagine climbing that, except it's at the coast. Almost.
That would just scare the crap out of me, but I used to live by the coast, so I'm kind of used to the winds.
Yeah. However, when you're that high up and literally on a staircase that is just a maybe like you could maybe fit 2 people on one step, like side by side. Terrifying, and I'm not scared of heights. It was quite fun to flex the fact that we live near where that steel was made, though. That was a fun flex, halfway up a bridge. What else did we do over there? Oh, we went to the Blue Mountains. That was fun.
It's like you've got to do something to offset the fear halfway up a bridge.
Oh yeah, I mean we flexed about where we're from multiple times because there's a replica of James Cook's ship at Darling Harbour. And we went on it and we were talking to the guy and he was saying about it and we were like, yeah, we're kind of from like 10 minutes from where this guy grew up. So it was quite funny. He's like, wait, really? I was like, yep. Yeah, don't get many of us. Yeah, we just kind of did lots of random things. I'm like trying to think. I've just spotted a opera house magnet in front of me. We went to the opera house. We did a tour of the opera house. That was quite fun. Yeah, I think with family holidays, it's just quite
more
chill.
like spending time together than it is
100%.
things. Like with school holidays, it's like it was not as a holiday. Like with like school trip, it was like, yo, we are going here this day and we're doing this and then that's happening. But with like
that's how my family does it.
Okay, my family's to be really fucking chill, and it's like, so we just wake up in the morning and we're like, yo, do you want to do this today? Do you want to do it tomorrow? It's really chill when I go away.
You know my family's not chill. You know that.
Yeah.
We have things meticulously planned out.
What is it with my phone going dead during recording?
I have no idea. I hope mine doesn't.
Me too.
It'll be fun. A fun one. New York. New York is where we know all of the stories lie because so I injured myself the first full day of New York. The journey there was fine. Yeah, we got to New York late at night, America time. I'd probably been awake for about 26 hours. I think the one funny thing from that first day was the fact that I nearly threw a paddy in the middle of Times Square because I'd been awake for about 26 hours and I really wanted a hot dog. Yeah, you know, as you do. But yeah, the first full day. So the Tuesday we were there Monday to Saturday. The Tuesday, I rolled my ankle, but like really badly. I still don't know how. And yeah, I was in a lot of pain for like the entire week. And I just didn't get it sorted because I was like, it'll be fine. Bless the 2 girls I was in a room with. They looked after me. They kept getting me ice packs and stuff for when we were in the hotel.
Sat at home and laughed.
You did laugh at me. I laughed at myself. The Thursday is probably where the hilarity is. It's because the Thursday was our got a tour of it beforehand because we did really good at raising money. I don't know, that was the reason, that's what we were told. Me and Robert, me and my brother, let's try that one again. Me and my brother got it because our family bought, so me and my brother each got a t-shirt and then I got a hoodie, my brother got a hoodie, my dad got a hoodie, my mum got a hoodie, and my nana got a hoodie.
Honestly, I was debating asking for a hoodie. Like, I would have paid for it, but I was honestly debating it.
So I think purely out of clothing sales, that's why we got. And also, I did do a lot of busking that year.
You did indeed. There's like pictures.
It was mad. It was mad. But yeah, that Thursday, so we did the tour. It went on for longer than it was supposed to. Which was great. We then had to speed walk back to our hotel because we didn't have our stuff for the concert. So we had to speed walk back to the hotel. We had like maybe 20 minutes to just like gather everything, like get freshened up and whatever. One of the girls had a shower got dressed again, and picked up all of her stuff and was downstairs in 20 minutes.
I can do that. That's really not hard to do.
Mate, no. Not when the elevators aren't working. Like the elevators are like packed, so you have to run up and down the stairs. And
Yeah,
I'm talking like,
I feel like I could do that.
I think you underestimate how many stairs there were.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I think she was probably on like the 10th floor or something. We were pretty high up.
Mm.
So she got up there, like she must have got up there, dropped all of her stuff, ran to the bathroom, had the quickest shower known to man, gotten redressed and dried her hair. She'd like washed her hair and everything. I was mad impressed. Gathered all of her stuff and got downstairs. I could never, even with a fully functioning ankle, I could never. I was gathering so much. I was carrying so much.
I love that, right? So like you say that. I used to get changed for school in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can get dressed really like quickly. It's the getting up and down the stairs that's the problem, because there are so many. I have, I don't know, probably quite a few people listening will know this, but I have very, very dodgy knees, and so stairs absolutely wipe my knees out. And I was on the 9th floor, and like we're talking like spiral, so like you do that and it would be a floor, so like you'd have 2 flights of stairs per floor. So yeah, that was horrendous. I still don't know how we all managed to get into the hotel, sorted, back down into the lobby and out in 20 minutes, but we did.
Good.
We arrived later than the rest of the orchestra did to the venue, which was a problem because we had the conductor. They can't do it. They couldn't do anything without our group because we had the conductor. And we did that. Literally speed walked a mile again because that's probably a thing I probably should have mentioned. Our hotel was a mile from the place we were playing. That was fun. When we actually got to like rehearsing and doing all of that, it was one of the guys' birthdays, and in our orchestra we have a bit of a tradition where for someone's birthday we play happy birthday for them. However, we get told to pick any note and play happy birthday. So when you have about 120 players all picking different notes, it gets horrendous. But the best bit was we were joined by a guest bassoon player. So like she was
that
American.
Poor girl.
Yeah, that poor girl indeed, because that was the first thing she'd ever done with us, because she was American. She was a student, I think, that we got to play with us. But the other bit was like playing, and then we just kind of all had the same reaction at the same time. We all just like gasped when we played. It was brilliant. Oh my gosh, my ankle ended up the size of a golf ball by the end of the trip because I didn't get it bandaged up. That was another thing from New York. There is a photo. My ankle was the size of a golf ball. Yeah.
I'm still gonna have audio on, not so, of course, audio, so I don't have visual on this podcast because I've just dropped my notebook off my desk in my face.
Okay.
Right. Anyway.
So that's the other prominent story. Oh no, there is another prominent story. I lie. I tend to repress this memory of the journey back. In fact, it wasn't even the journey back. It was the trying to get back. Newark, I think it was Newark. I'll out the airport. I'll name and shame. Newark Airport was horrendous. I think it was Newark. No, it wasn't. Sorry, Newark. Newark Airport, you're great. JFK, however, oh my god. Yeah, it took 3 hours for them to get our entire group through of 130 people. 3 hours. They had to hold the plane for us because my conductor refused to get on the plane until everyone was there. So my conductor nearly like scrapped some of the airline staff, being like, I ain't leaving them. I am
you know what, right?
responsible for all of these kids.
I don't know your instructor. Like, I know of him, but I don't know him. But I could just see him doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
It just seems like one of those. Just seems like one of those people.
We love him. He's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that basically concludes the stupidity of that trip. Was just that why did it take 3 hours? We won't go into it because it genuinely causes like half of the orchestra severe PTSD. Like it stressed us all out ridiculously. What's that? Granada was a fun one. We didn't. I don't think we spoke because I don't think we could speak too much during Granada. No, we didn't call. I think we messaged a bit though because I was only an hour ahead, and I could text.
Because I remember at one point you were talking about the fact that you wanted to order something, but the menu was in Spanish or something.
Bear in mind, I speak Spanish.
Yeah,
that wouldn't have been a problem.
Well, I can't remember what it was. It was something, and you're like, Katie, but it's in Spanish, and I don't understand it. And I was like,
you know what it could have been? It could have been one of the tours, because the tours that we got of specific places were fully in Spanish, and we were like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it was probably that. But honestly, I just sat. I'm pretty sure I was at my dad's. I wasn't at my dad's when you go away. I was at my dad's, and I just sat and laughed. I just sat and laughed on. So I sat on my granddad's sofa and just sat and laughed.
Oh no! Do you know what it? I think I actually have cracked what it was. I think it's because when we went to the school, we spoke solely in Spanish because they just didn't practice their English with us, so we were speaking and listening in Spanish. So that's probably what I was complaining about. Oops.
Probably.
Yeah. So that's a fun part of that trip. 2 of the lads were ill at the start of the trip, and one of them was very, very ill for like 2 days. So we travelled on the Monday. One of the lads was fixed by the flight, which seemed really odd. Like we landed in Spain and he was fine. The other one, I swear to God, I've never seen someone look so ill. Like that poor kid, he looked so ill, and he was so ill. But it's fine because like he has family in Spain, so like he can go and like see those places again. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
But he looked so ill, and he had to sit in the hotel on his own for like the entirety of one of the days because he was that bad. Bless him. What else? I mean, back to that Wednesday when we were at the school. Yeah, that was fully in Spanish, and I learned a lot of Spanish from that trip for that sole reason, because they would just say things to us, and we were like, "Sorry, you what? What?" I had no clue.
I don't think I've ever done a holiday solely in a different language that I didn't speak. Because, like, year 6, it was like, we weren't used to use French as much as possible. They all spoke English to us. And then,
they can tell.
Then when I went to France, they gave you an option if you wanted to speak in French or speak in English. So even though me taking a French GCSE, it's like, yo, you can speak in English, thank you very much.
Yeah, a lot of places in Europe, like a lot of shops, they will just speak English. But this school, they were just, the kids were there and they were like, yeah, the entire idea was that they were going to practice their English with us, and we would practice our Spanish. So then we'd be speaking in our foreign language but listening in our home language. No, everything was Spanish. Absolutely everything. It was. They don't realize. They don't know how to reword things in a simpler way. That is the problem. Is that this girl kept saying something to me. I went, I don't understand. And she'd say it again, exactly the same. And I'm like, I literally don't know what you're saying. And then eventually one of the other girls said it, like said the same word but in a different way that we knew. I was like, got you. Horrendous. I was ill after that trip as well. That's a fun story of that trip. Is I was ill when we got back, and I can't eat Flip's chocolate pretzels because of it. Because I didn't eat properly, and so I was ill. I then had to busk the day after we got back. Yikes. I think that pulls together kind of a lot of my random hilarities from my trips.
Then I feel like we can maybe shoot in. Yeah. Yeah. Gonna jump to me.
Yeah.
And me by myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, honestly, holidays weren't like a massive. I'm just gonna put it out there. Holidays weren't like a massive thing in my family until me and my obviously anywhere I went, my older brother went. Not anymore because he doesn't live with me, but everywhere I went, my older brother went. And so when we were very very little, I mean like probably since like birth to like genuinely, I'm pretty sure I remember like my nana taking my brother. So pretty much, we used to go to Cornwall a lot because my granddad is originally from Cornwall, and so my brother grew up with my nana and granddad really, and I grew up with my mum and dad. But we used to go down there a lot. But there used to be like a family that went with us. Because my dad does lifeboat, and he used to be like a lifeboat guy. We always go camping. It used to be the best thing ever.
Nice.
No, I've just mixed two holidays up. That's the Lake Districts.
That's impressive.
So that's really impressive. So Cornwall, I'd go with my nan and my granddad. My mum wouldn't go, or my dad. And we'd go and we just like stay with like a friend of the family and bounce castles and everything. That's all I can really remember from them because I was really really little.
Mm-hmm.
And then going up a little bit, I used to go to the Lake Districts a lot because I know how to like kayak and canoe, and it was like we used to go to the Lake Districts. There's lakes, in the name. And we used to go with a friend of the family and all of her family, and she was like one of my best friends at the time.
Yeah.
Honestly, only thing I really know is comment on her Instagram. But the only thing I do know.
I love that.
So yeah, and I used to go there quite a bit with them. But honestly, I feel like I probably started getting into holidays when I went to Blackpool. So I went to Blackpool with my whatever. When I went to Blackpool with my mum and Sean. So this was like I want to say I was like 12. I was like 11, 12. So my brother still lived with me because he went as well. And it was the first time I'd ever been on holiday with like my mum and Sean. Still the first time I've ever been, only time I've ever been on holiday with mum and Sean. Haven't been on one since. But we went to Blackpool to see the Blackpool Illuminations.
I
Which is
want to
pretty much
go to
where
Blackpool. I haven't been to
it's
Blackpool.
so nice. So like pretty much for the Blackpool Illuminations, I don't know if anyone knows what they are, but the whole of the seafront gets lit up with lights around October time.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, it's beautiful. Especially if you're on one of the trams,
Mm-hmm.
and you go in one of the trams. I have some of my favourite photography I've got is from Blackpool. Like when I went on a day trip a couple of years ago. No, we're not doing day trips, but I went on a day trip to Blackpool, and a lot of my favourite photography is from Blackpool.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys know I'm a photographer. I love taking pictures wherever I can.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Blackpool. It was a lot of. We went to see an Elvis impersonator. We went to see a Freddie Mercury impersonator. We went to see drag queens, which is
Yes.
honestly where my love. Me and my mum are obsessed with RuPaul's Drag Race. Genuinely, where our love for that came from.
Probably.
And honestly, it was just a lot of times I went in the arcades, and
You've got
I got to meet One Direction in Madame Tussauds.
I was going to say, is that Madame? I've done Madame Tussauds in London. Oh my god.
I was literally, my mum saw them. I was terrified to go up to them. They were literally wax statues, and I was terrified of them. I got to stick on a wall with Spider-Man, which was pretty cool. I think that sounds really wrong out of context. And yeah, I got to do like the Mo Farah pose. Is this the Mo Farah pose or is this the Mo Farah pose?
Yeah.
So I did the Mo Farah pose.
I know you're thinking of it as the McDonald's thing, but yes, it's the same pose.
And then my older brother, I don't care. I'm allowed to use his name. It's called Stephen. He did like the Usain Bolt pose, and there's a photo of that somewhere. But that was like a weekend.
A different pose. I'm so glad we don't have visuals because that looked like I was doing something different.
Oh my gosh. So that was like a quick weekend away. Cornwall and Devon was a lot of just Cornwall was a lot of like weeks away. And then I remember, so my grandma, R.I.P., passed away like 2 years ago. Not even that. But she used to take us to Devon a lot, and there was a hotel we would always go to. Literally everyone knew us. And it was like it's like when you see in the films, and it's like there's just like community of people that you know.
Yeah.
it was like that, and it's been
That's so
knocked down
cute.
now. It got knocked down last year at the hotel,
Oh,
unfortunately. But yeah, it was just like the best place. It was all like secret passageways you could go through to get to different
oh, that's
floors.
cute. Yeah, I love
Um,
that.
but you can never go on the first floor though. If you stay on the first floor, you're a weirdo. It was usually the second floor, and honestly, I met one of my really good friends called Emma as well. No, obviously not this
Not
Emma.
me.
Um, and I talked to her a little bit, not as much as I
Mm.
probably should. But I met her down there as well. And she would always stay on the third floor, and I would stay on the second floor. So we'd always find creative ways to get to the floors without anyone seeing us.
I love
Um,
that.
so yeah, but honestly, that's kind of my holidays in the UK. I could
Yeah.
probably put loads more details, but I think I ended up crying because a lot of our holidays are with family members that I no longer have anymore. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and then we kind of shoot to. Well, first there's France with school, but I feel like we're going to chat about that later because we're going to do
Mhm.
trips together. So first of all, there's really Spain. Spain was the first time I ever left the country with family. Spain
Yeah.
was the first time I ever left the country on my own passport. Because I didn't have a passport when I went to France. I went on the school's passport.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we applied for my passport to go to Spain. I went to Spain in 2016 with my dad, my stepmom, my two stepbrothers, and then my actual brother. And we all went to Spain. We stayed in the best freaking hotel ever.
Where
Uh,
was it in Spain? Where did you go?
I
Can
went
you
to
remember?
Mallorca
Oh, okay. Yeah.
in Spain. And actually, I stayed at a hotel called High Bougan Villa. And I only remember that because my year 8 English teacher also went to that hotel. And when I wrote about it in my English essay, he was like, "Oh, I've been there." Only reason why I remember it. Um,
Brilliant.
but yeah, and we went there, and funnily, is funnily a word? Funnily.
What context? Because if you say like funnily enough, it's fine.
Oh yeah, yeah. Funnily enough, we didn't eat in a single Spanish restaurant.
You
Literally,
never do. You never do.
we found this one English like bar type thing. Obviously, the bars over there that serve food as well.
Yeah.
And it was literally like a 20-minute walk from the hotel, and we
Hmm.
swear to God, we spent every night in that bar. Like
Yeah.
none of us were old enough to drink. Nowhere near old enough to drink because I was only like
That's. Oh, they probably let
13,
you in because you're
14.
with adults, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, we had to be
yeah.
out by like I think it was like 10 we had to be out by.
Yeah.
But we got like mocktails and they did everything for us because we were like
Hmm.
the first English people that had in there in a while.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that was really fun. My brother learned how to swim on that trip because he didn't know how
Go
to.
on.
Uh,
Go on, lad.
go on, Stephen.
Well
Um,
done.
so he learned how to swim on that trip. I just did a lot of sunbathing. I came
Yeah.
back from that trip so tanned.
Oh my god, you did.
Also on that trip, found out I needed a bra.
Oh, it's the
Whoop.
best time when that happens.
Yeah. So
Round of applause
me,
for that.
me and my stepmom went to the mall in Spain.
Mhm.
That was fun. Also, I wore a lot of dresses that holiday as well.
That's very
And
unlike
like,
you.
I was gonna say, if anyone knows me, you will know I literally haven't worn a
Was
dress since prom. Actually, I've worn like a couple of like maxi dresses, but I took them off after like 20 minutes. I
yeah,
haven't worn like an actual dress probably since prom, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
almost 2 years ago, not 3.
almost 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and that holiday it was kind of just it was dipping my toe into being out of the UK.
The
Um,
abroad life.
yeah, 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 and like my stepbrother got heavily sunburned,
Oh my god.
and
Wait,
went to sleep.
do you remember my sunburn from Malaga, which ended up in the worst tan you've ever seen in your life?
Yeah, that was really fun. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you ended up like heavily sunburned, and then went to sleep one night being sunburned. Woke up the next day absolutely fine, not a trace of it.
Yep.
Which to this day still confuses the absolute shit out of us. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and then I feel like I'm gonna bounce to the other time I went to France because the other two were with school. So I
Mhm.
went to France for me and my stepbrother, the one that got burned. We are 2 weeks apart from each other. So he was born
the
19th of June. Obviously, I'm born the 3rd of July.
Yeah.
So it's about 2 weeks. And so he said he wanted to go to Disney for his 16th birthday. So obviously the invitation got sent to me because my birthday was so close. I was like, hell yeah, I will for sure go to Disney for my 16th birthday.
I will never say no to going to Disney.
I think we ended up going in August. We ended up going. I think it's about the 5th of August. I think it was like earlier on in August.
Yes, because it was definitely after I came back from New York. Even though New York was early July, it was definitely a while after that.
So remember, you were away for my 16th birthday. You weren't here.
Where the hell was I?
Or you were just going away just after. You think you were going away just after?
Where would I have been? I don't even know where I would have been going.
I don't know. I don't really remember. But yeah, so I went to Disney, and what I can suggest, if you're gonna go to Disney, only go for 3 days, because we went Monday to Friday, and we got bored by like Wednesday. We'd like pretty much done everything by Wednesday.
I guess it depends on the Disney though, because like Florida Disney World, I've been twice and we went for 2 weeks.
If you go to Disneyland Paris,
yeah,
I feel like we had a fast pass.
Okay.
Because my stepbrother is autistic, so we had a fast pass. Any ride he got on, we could jump in queue with him. So I feel like if you were gonna like normally go, I'd probably go for like that amount of time.
But
because of that, we like went really I'm really quickly gonna round this up. So pretty much I ended up going to France for my 16th birthday. Heavily sunburnt. Forgot to take trainers with me when I took my Converse. My feet knacked after a week.
Why are we such messes with trips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where was I? I was on Disney.
Yes.
So yes, I went to Disney, and we both went to the park because we kind of just did the whole Disney experience. But the one thing I totally remember from that trip was, so we did a day trip out like into Paris. So what you find is Disneyland Paris. So freaking near Paris. Well, it is.
It's outside of Paris.
It's outside of Paris.
And Paris is pretty big.
Yeah. So like if you don't book a hotel in Paris, if you want to go to Disneyland Paris, just don't do it, because you'll be spend like an hour going to the park. It's like I stayed in the Cars hotel. It was the best thing ever. So yeah, and we did a day trip out to just into Paris. I got to go up the Eiffel Tower.
Ooh.
And genuinely, I have amazing pictures. It was amazing. So we got the lift up, and we walked back down, I think.
Right.
Yeah, got the lift up and I walked back down, and we did the steps back down. But like on the, so it's like there's like 3 floors. Is there?
You can like go to.
Yeah, on like one of the floors we were on, literally it was all metal, but then all the floor was see-through, like around the edge. It was all like glass. I said see-through. It was all glass. It was all like a glass, like it's actually a glass plastic carbonate mixture. They said.
Yeah, they won't make you just stand on glass.
Yeah. So there's a picture of me and my stepbrother both laid on the glass, which I just think is really cool. They're like the little people like below us, which is really cool.
That's really cool. I love things like that. It's like in New York we got to do the Rock, so it's like similar like kind of thing, like going up and seeing. It's when you can see the entire city, isn't it? It's like.
I will find a couple of the photos. I have to blur my family members' faces out because I don't think they want them in it. If I can find just me, I will put the view in that we had. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find some travel-y photos.
Yeah, I'll find some travel photos and I'll pop them on the screen for you guys to be able to see. But I feel like France actually gives us a really good segue.
We love a good segue.
Trips together, because obviously we kind of like mentioned it, but me and Emma did a year 6 France trip.
What a time. What a time to be alive.
We love.
It was like, what, 3 days? Or was it 5 days?
I think it was a week. It was a week.
I thought it was 3, yeah. It wasn't that long.
It was 4.
Yeah, 4 maybe.
It's 4 days. I think it was
something like that.
I think it was 5 nights, 4 days.
Something like that, yeah. Because obviously we travelled. That was an experience. The travelling alone was it. The one thing I remember, a couple of things I remember, the ferry, and the fact that it got to the point in France where I had to put my head on the chair in front of me to stop myself falling asleep because I just kept like waking up, going back to sleep. So my body couldn't stop. And so like I was actually having to like put my head on the chair in front.
I remember there's one time, and we were still in England, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Everyone else was asleep, and I was just sat there. I can't think which teacher I was talking to. Just sat there talking to one of the teachers because I genuinely could not sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I just ended up going to sleep, and everyone else was awake and being really fucking loud. Yeah. Right, and I woke up, and all I could see was must have been at Dover, so I could just see like the white cliffs.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who I was sat next to, but I could have killed them. Genuinely could have killed them being so
Who
loud.
would you have sat next to? Hannah? I can't name her.
Hannah.
Whoops. Whoops, can't name.
It was probably, we're going to use a fake name here, it was probably Samantha.
Samantha.
Samantha. So, yeah.
Sorry, Editor Katie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it probably was. I honestly don't know because I spent most of it asleep. Genuinely. I think I just, because that's my coping mechanism. I don't know if I just failed at saying the word mechanism. That's my coping mechanism for traveling. I don't know if that's the same for you. I just sleep. Unless I'm on a train. If I'm on a train on my own, I can't because I'm scared I'll miss my stop.
Yeah, it's something about bubble wrap. Editor Katie, cut this bit out. And that bit.
That bit.
What's my door's open? That's why.
It's just because my mum's come home. It's like, I'm going to take this time to eat cake.
Sorry.
Hello.
Right. Katie, cut all that shit out.
Cut the last like 2 minutes out.
Yeah.
It's fine. What were you saying when that happened? I don't know.
I think like I don't really have a coping mechanism much. I think it's more I talk, but that's not really new though. Just outing myself here. That's not really new.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think I've travelled enough to know what a coping mechanism is.
It was because, especially in cars and stuff, I get travel sick.
Yeah, I don't get travel sick.
So the only thing I can do is eat and sleep.
Eat is a big thing for me. When I'm on holiday, I eat like fucking crazy.
Actually, I can't even eat as much on like trips anymore because it just makes me sick because I like overheat. So like, if it's just me and one of my parents, then like obviously I'll just talk to them the entire way, maybe sleep a tiny bit. But like family like trips down to like Liverpool and stuff, even though it's like 2 hours, I will sleep just because I get bored.
That's fair enough. So yeah, we went to France with school, and I feel like we talked about this last week a little bit. And we went to further our French, which we'd been learning for like maybe like afternoons once a week for the past like I don't know year.
Yeah. I think we did it in year 5.
Yeah.
And year 6. I think.
Look,
but not a lot. Our very little French that we didn't actually ever use on that French trip.
No, we didn't. I think we just went on a holiday, really.
That's what every like school trip turns into, though.
we just went on a holiday. There was a ping pong room. There was.
Oh my god, there was that ping pong room was legit.
I think I got in there like one this like one kid was always in there. Same kid as the tiger onesie from last week, guys. He was always in there.
Yeah.
And he didn't really like me that much because I was trying to date his best friend. So he just kind of was dating his best friend.
There we go.
So yeah.
France was a time. It's a time. It's like I remember it being really entertaining, but I can't pick out specific memories from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just like it's like a big thing that it happened.
Yeah, definitely.
And we weren't really old enough for social media at that point. I feel like
Some people definitely had it easily.
Well, considering the girl I met from the other school, oh yeah, we went with like another school. The girl I met from the other school, we emailed each other.
Yeah, we were 11 at the time.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't even 11, I don't think.
I was even 11.
You weren't 11. Because we were only like May, June time.
Yeah, I was like 10 still. I hadn't had my birthday yet. Mm-hmm. Which is always the best about being a summer baby, is you will always be the youngest and always be the child.
Yeah. I don't think there's really much more about France we can go on about because I honestly can't remember half of it.
Me neither. I feel like we should jump. Yeah,
let's jump to Poland because Poland
was fun. There was a couple of stories I can think of from Poland.
Right. Poland's a weird one to like describe because like the reason we were there, that was interesting for its purpose. But like outside of that, that was a funny trip because
so pretty much we went to go to Auschwitz and Schindler's factory.
Yeah,
it's like pretty much why we went on a history trip. But outside of
technically an RE trip, I think. RE and history.
It's RE and history trip.
Yeah.
And outside of there wasn't really much more we did. We went like shopping a lot and ate Mackies
the
like
salt
every
mines.
night.
Oh my gosh, do you remember?
Oh, I licked a wall.
No, you didn't. No, I know exactly who licked the wall. You didn't, because you had to like rub your fingers on the wall. You didn't lick
no,
oh, you did it to impersonate the guy who did it.
I did it to impersonate the guy that did it. But I don't remember who did it.
I'm glad that you can't. Wait, can you remember who did it?
Oh. Okay.
For editor Katie, Adam Brackey.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. So Katie now remembers who it was. Lovely. One of the lads licked the wall because he misunderstood the instruction of like what you had to do was like rub your fingers on the wall because it was a salt mine. So you rubbed your fingers on the wall and then you licked your fingers. It hissed some salt.
There was the other girl in our group in our room just point blank licked the walls.
Did she?
The other girl, she just point blank licked like 27 walls.
Right. The thing is, the guy who did it first, and then I think people just started doing it to take the mick. Like they just did to take the piss.
That girl licked like she like
what girl?
She licked. She was the best.
She was incredible.
Then that kind of links us into our like main story that we have from Poland to the point where
I think it is.
Emma is saved in my Snapchat as Posh Spoon.
And Katie is saved as Scary Spoon.
And the other girl is still saved in my Snapchat as Baby Spoon.
Baby Spoon.
So we don't know her as much anymore.
Yeah.
So pretty much. And I feel like you should start this one. I feel like
I don't even know how. All I know is that the other girl in our room, who I'm going to give the very quick name to of...
She's called Sophie.
Sophie, yeah, sure, we'll go on with Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
She really liked the tubs of, like, Nutella. I think it was Nutella. Like, she kept smuggling up the Nutella from the breakfast, like, when we got breakfast. And she got a spoon to eat it with. But then... I don't actually know the reason. I think you joined her in eating the Nutella, and that's why you ended up getting a spoon.
Yeah,
I just felt left out because I don't eat Nutella. I don't like Nutella, so I just ended up with a spoon. But thank God, like we nearly forgot to take them out of our bags on the day we went to Auschwitz because.
Oh, no.
So when you
mine went with me.
How did you get it through the metal detector? There was a metal detector.
Pass. Mine was in the front of my bag.
Oh no, because it would have just come up in the X-ray. Basically, it was like airport security, like that sort of setup to get into Auschwitz 1.
Yeah, Auschwitz 2 was like.
I don't think Auschwitz 2 was the same.
You just walked through in Auschwitz 2.
Yeah. So yes. So for people who don't know, because I feel like a lot of people don't know that there are 2 Auschwitz camps. A lot of people don't realise that.
We went to both.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Auschwitz 2 is the one that most people will recognise because it's the one with the train tracks.
I have a picture I took. I will insert it. So that you guys know what
that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so pretty much we just ended up with these spoons, and these spoons. I suppose mine went everywhere with me. Mine went to Mackey's. Mine went into the town.
Oh
Mine went
yeah.
everywhere with me.
Our spoons lived in our bags for like those 4
Um,
days, and then we realised we couldn't really bring them home with us. So
we'd set the metal detectors off at the airport. So we just hid them around the hotel room. So like this hotel room, as you walked in, there was like
it was
two
pretty big.
double beds,
Yeah, it was
and there
pretty
was a
big.
pull out, and there was like a pull out, which Emma ended up sleeping on the pull out.
I was on the sofa bed. This
Emma
was like
went
a
on the
4-star hotel. I honestly
Oh, it
don't know
was
how we ended up
beautiful.
in a 4-star hotel
Oh
on
no,
a school trip, but we did.
so nice. And um,
Can you remember where they were? Because I can't.
so one was behind the TV,
Yep.
one was on the back of my bed, and one was on top of the wardrobe.
Yeah, I put mine on the wardrobe because off of like the end of my sofa bed, I could
Yeah.
stand on the end. I think I ended up balancing half on a end table to get it on top of the wardrobe.
Yeah, because I feel like my
I
yeah, 'cause
still
mine was on
wonder
the
if
back of my
that's
bed.
there.
I don't
I
know. I
still,
doubt it. They probably clean the rooms.
yeah, but how likely are they to go on top of the wardrobe?
I don't know. I feel like mine and Sophie's will be moved because obviously mine was on the back of the bed and hers was behind the TV.
Yeah, like
Um,
genuinely, mine might still be there, and it's
I
been
don't know.
3 years.
One thing that always made me giggle is the fact that my Spotify adverts were in Polish, and like I should just like
Oh
I
yeah,
should just know
that's
that.
one of my favorite things of going abroad where they speak a different language is that you get the adverts in that language. It's so funny.
It's really really funny. But
Um,
yeah, I feel like I feel like Poland was more like a serious trip that I don't think there's any like
yeah, it's like
stories from it.
pe- people always were like, "Did you enjoy it?" And I'm like, it's hard to say about enjoying it because of what
Mm.
it was for. If that makes sense.
I don't know. I feel like the only thing I can really think of is I laid down on the train tracks. It's the only thing I can think of because I laid down because me and this other girl, just calling her the
Hmm.
other girl, can't actually think of her name. We both wanted the photo that we've got, so we both laid down together and took the
Yeah,
photo. Um,
yeah, I know. Oh no,
but
who you mean?
yeah,
Do you
um,
remember when we played Knock a Door Run on the lads?
that was so funny. So
That
pretty much,
was that was stressful though because we were on the opposite side of the hotel. We literally ran
and
the
you had
width
to
of
like
this
run
hotel.
like across like the balcony, but you could see like out into like the hotel foyer, and
Oh, it was
it was
stressful.
just stressful. It was so stressful. It was
That was
beautiful
maybe one of our worst decisions we've ever made.
for sure, but it was beautiful though. Like where we
It was.
were,
It was be
like we
yeah.
were right across from well, we were in Krakow.
Yeah.
That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were right across this
Krakow,
massive
Krakow.
castle thing.
Yeah, it's the Royal
Um,
Palace in Krakow.
yeah, it was really funny. So we were just out in the town. I remember like another story, was out in the town, and these like people asked me like how to get to that place, and I was like, I don't really know. And they're like, why? I was like, because if you haven't like guessed from my accent, I'm also English. And I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, all I know is there's a big whoop off castle down there, right? If you keep walking down that road and take a left, you'll get to it. And they're like, oh, that's
Yeah,
brilliant. And they just like cycled off. But like
yeah.
the fact that I just looked
I
Polish.
I've thought of a couple of the funny things from Poland. Do you remember the milk on the balcony?
Oh my god.
We kept
Yeah.
milk on the balcony because Katie and Sophie wanted tea. So we kept milk on the balcony. The other one was one of the boys got invited to a strip club. Don't know if you remember that one.
Wait, no, I don't think I got told about this.
One of the lads we got invited to a strip club.
Oh, good for
I
him.
fully got us. You could probably actually could you guess out the lads?
Was that our year?
Year above.
Why does that come to my head straight away?
No, it wasn't Zach.
I don't know.
Helen.
Ah, that makes sense. I will cut that
Of
out.
course. Of course.
Um, I'll cut that
Do you
out.
remember the magnet as well? The magnet that they bought.
Oh, the Puff magnet that ended
Yeah.
up back in our history teacher's classroom.
Yeah, and she hid it in a drawer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
feel like
dear.
there was a guy that was there's playing as a horse, was playing the piano to get money for his wife's engagement ring. Remember?
Oh yeah, and we all
Remember?
like gave money.
I
What
didn't.
happened to that guy?
I don't know. I
A
didn't give
lot
any
of
money.
us did. A lot of us did.
I wasn't convinced it was for his wife's engagement ring.
We did. I didn't give him a lot. I gave him a little bit. That was incredible though. He genuinely sat just in the middle of this road playing a keyboard with a horse mask. That was iconic.
It was. But yeah.
There's our past travels. One thing I want to know definitely for you is where would you want to go in the world? You know.
I feel like 'cause I haven't been that many places. It's gonna be a couple of places you've been, because obviously I've been kind of jelly when you've went. But
yeah.
I don't know, like definitely I definitely want to go to Australia.
Yeah.
I want to go to Singapore.
Yeah.
And then I want to like jet somewhere else. I want to go to Budapest and Italy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go somewhere hot and nice and chill out.
Budapest is not hot.
I know it's not hot.
Well, it
but
probably
like, I don't know,
because like
just
mainland
like,
Europe, but like it's
just
not
like
hot.
just places like Italy and India and just like cultural places that I can go
100%.
learn something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Like I can do the whole lounge around a pool, but after a while that just annoys me. I get bored. Like I
can't do that.
Do something.
I literally can't. I have to like be doing something.
Mm.
Like on like our family holidays, like normally we're doing something all the time. We'll have like a couple rest days, but like pretty much we will do something every day. Like we'll have a plan.
Yeah.
We'll have a full itinerary for like the entire trip. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to finish off my map, which sounds a bit weird, but obviously I've been to, so I don't count Antarctica when I'm talking about this because you can go, but it's really expensive and I just wouldn't want to. So I've done all but 2 of the other 6 continents. The only ones I haven't done are Africa and South America. So I definitely want to do that.
I'd have to go to Chad.
I love that. That's so random, but I love it. Fair play. I'd love to do. I've like said about this before, but like to Katie, not on this, but I'd love to do I'd love to go around Europe, like not necessarily road tripping because like I am not about to drive to Europe because you can't hire a car until you're like over a certain age. But like also like I just couldn't be bothered driving all that. So but you can get like trains. Also I'd quite like train journeys, so I'd probably just go around all of Europe at some point. Yeah. I'd love to do that. But yeah, there's like quite a lot of places like I couldn't even go into all of the places I want to go to because there are just so many. But I definitely want to go back to Singapore because like 3 days just isn't enough.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back.
So that's another thing, as you are putting your sweets, favourite holiday, and whatever you've what was the other thing you said? I can't remember. But the holiday destinations where you would love to go with family or with friends in the comments, guys.
100%. Bucket list.
Yeah. Also, my boyfriend ignored me.
Oh, that's a bit rude.
3 hours. How rude. But yeah. Anyway, I
think we've got to a good point of talking about a lot of fun stories and also a bit of travel-y stuff. I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
I think it is. So, yeah.
Thank you for listening to us ramble on about
random ass crap.
Our life experiences.
So, yeah. Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.